everybody. Welcome back to the Time Pass podcast. This is your host, Ashika. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please like me on Facebook at Time Pass Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at TimePass_podcast. And check out the YouTube channel where you can watch all the episodes of the Time Pass podcast. You can find the link for that in my bio on my Instagram or on my website, timepasspodcast.com, along with show notes, bonus content, and more information about me. If you are an auditory listener, whatever platform you are using to tune in to the Time Pass podcast, please make sure that you are liked, followed, or subscribed, whether it's iPodcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you are tuning into the Time Pass podcast, please show us some love and subscribe and like to the show. All right, you guys. Love is in the air. I don't know what it is, okay? I don't know what it is, but I have had some recent experiences, and it has just led me to believe that, like, we all complain about being single all the time. Like, oh, there's no good men out there. When am I going to find the one? I'm tired of going on these dates. I'm tired of being on the dating apps. I'm tired of the merry-go-round, as I like to call it, of dating. But recently, I have had some experiences, and now I am here today to tout the joys of being single, the joys of your singledom. And yes, there are joys to being single. I'm going to start the show off today, you guys, with a little bit of background info. Our lovely intern, Madison, who was on the show last week, did some research, and she found that these 6 reasons why, benefits of being single on lifehack.com. Number 1, you can travel whenever you want. That's true. It's what I do. I love to be able to pick up and go whenever I want. I love to be able to not have to coordinate schedules with anybody. And I'm a solo traveler too. So if I have friends that can't come, guess what? I'm still going. I'm not going to put my life on hold for anybody. So I love the fact that I can pick up and go. It is a joy for me. It is one of the benefits of being single, is I don't have to check in with anybody on those things. Number 2, I can flirt without fear. I can flirt with whoever I want. I can talk to whoever I want. I can hang out with whoever I want. Like, I'm not attached to anybody. I can go out on as many dates as I want. It doesn't matter. I can flirt with anybody, and I'm not scared that someone's gonna get offended or I'm gonna get caught or anything like that. I could be fun and flirty and happy, like just having a good time. Number 3, you can work on yourself, which is true. Like, I spent a lot of time working on the show. I spent a lot of time building my relationships with my friends. I spent a lot of time with my daughter and my family. Like, I spent a lot of time with myself. So much of my time is spent working out, although I've been really bad about it this week. My trainer's gonna be mad. But normally I'm working out about 4 times a week. So I like having that time for me and doing the things that I wanna do. Number 4, you can sleep in peace and quiet. You don't have to worry about anybody snoring. You don't have to worry about anybody, bothering you, or you don't have any relationship drama keeping you up at night. You could just go to sleep and sleep in peace and quiet. Number 5, you become self-resilient. You become self-reliant. And it's true, guys. I'm really proud of myself. But about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I got a ladder and I changed my outdoor porch light. And for me, like, I know for a lot of people out there that's not a big deal, but city girl here, I don't do things like that. I really don't. So the fact that I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tackle it, and I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I did it right, and it's still intact and it's working. It's like a huge accomplishment for me. It makes me feel good about myself. It does make me feel like, hey, there are some things I can take care of. I don't need a man around to help me take care of little things around the house. And lastly, number 6, you can avoid settling for a bad match. And that's very true. When you're single, when you're out there meeting people, you're meeting multiple people. And I would say meet multiple people. Don't just talk to one person and settle on them, because until you want to invest in them, unless you agree upon that. Because in the beginning, you want to meet multiple people. You want to get to know who's a better fit for you. And I would have to say, like, these last few weeks, I have met multiple people, and they've been such positive experiences that I've been like, okay, I like being single right now. Like, this is a good time for me to be single, because the universe is just throwing good men my way, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but I met 4 men recently, and all 4 were special and lovely in their own way, and all 4 were kind of probably some of the best men I've ever met. Like, manners-wise, respectfulness, handsomeness, the way they treat me, chivalrous. Like, it's been really, really interesting, but I have no idea what's going on. But there's a theme. Okay, the one theme I found is that when me and my best friend Fabian from the After Show crew, he and I we have recently, in these last couple weeks, he and I have gone out on Sunday nights, which is not a thing that I would normally do or that he would normally do. But it's just been the 2 of us, and we've gone out, and I have met the most interesting people. So the first night we went out on a Sunday, and we were just out and about doing our thing, thinking we were just going out for a little while, and it turned out we ended up going to like 4 different places, and I ended up meeting this guy, and he was just such a sweetheart and so funny and so chivalrous and kind of just really good, like really, really good. And he opened my eyes to a lot of different things. First of all, he wasn't South Asian. So, and I'm very much like dead set on like dating a South Asian. And so he opened my eyes to the fact that I need to look outside my box too a little bit, because there could be somebody really great out there for me who's not South Asian. And I've touted this for so long that I want to marry a South Asian, that I don't know how I feel about it, but I do know that this man is just, he gave me butterflies, and it was great. You know, he was not from here, so he's visiting from out of town. So we ended up spending some time together and had a great time, and he's kept in touch a little bit, but he doesn't live here, and I don't know if he'll ever be back. But I just don't know what the purpose of him in my life was, and I'm trying to think, and I'm thinking that maybe the purpose of him in my life was just to show me to not be so closed-minded, that there's probably somebody really great out there that I'm overlooking because I'm so focused on my box. You know, I want my person to fit in this box, and maybe they're not going to fit in that box. Maybe my person isn't going to fit in that box. So that was the first experience. And then last Friday night, this was the weird thing, okay? We ended up going out like all weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. It wasn't by design. It just happened that way. And I met a new person each night. And they were great people. So Friday night we go out, and we're at this bar. We're hanging out, and I'm playing. I love to play pool, you guys. And I'm playing pool. And this group of guys comes over, and they want to play pool. And so then they start playing pool. We leave. Then we go back out. And they're like, hey, do you guys want to play? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll play. And so then me and one of my good friends, her and I team up with them, and we start playing pool. And we're winning, and we're having a good time. We just end up hanging out. And this man, you know, he's probably not my type either. But he was just so nice to me and complimentary. Like, he made me feel very, like, shy a little bit because he was complimenting me so much. But it was, like, creepy compliments. They were genuine compliments. And nothing happened. He's not he's not really my type. So nothing happened or whatever. But it was just interesting to have that kind of attention for the night, you know. And while I was out and about, and it felt good. And I don't know what the purpose of that was, except maybe just to have fun. And like, I didn't feel bad about like he was flirting with me, I didn't feel bad about it. You know, it's fine. It was fine. It was fine, you guys. And then the second night, we go back to this bar that we like, and we're just hanging out there, and we're dancing, and there's a group of us that are there. And we're dancing, and we're having a good time. And I see this guy sitting at the bar, and he's attractive. Not my type, again, but he's sitting at the bar, and he's alone, and he looks attractive. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just like, I'll be right back. And I go over there, and I'm getting another drink, and I just strike up a conversation with him, and we just start talking, and we have this great conversation. He's a really respectful guy. He has the deepest voice I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, if you guys are country music fans and you listen to Josh Turner, I even told him, I was like, you sound like Josh Turner. His voice is so friggin' deep. But, you know, ex-military, nice guy, sitting there, has farmland, whatever it is. He's just super respectful, super chivalrous. We end up hanging out the next day. We go to brunch. You know, he asked me to brunch, and we had like a great time. And it was nice. It was nice to just do that. And he had to work, and so that's, you know, that was it. And he asked for my number, and I gave it to him. And I don't know where that's going. I don't know what's happening with that. But I had plans. I had plans to go out with Fabs. He had a party to go to, and it was like a traditional like Mexican party a little bit. And so we got all, you know, dressed up in our kind of like cowboy westernish gear, and we go to this party, and he drives, and as we're walking up, his friend whose party it was is like, oh, hey, nice to see you. And I have never met him before, so he's like introducing me to him. He's like, oh, this is Ashika. And I'm like, yeah. And these two tall ass guys walk up from the back, and he's like, oh, let me introduce you to my friends. The last place I expected to meet brown boys, South Asian boys, was at a Mexican party. Like, I just didn't expect it. But they were these tall ass brown boys. They're like 6'6" and 6'7". And so then this mutual friend introduces me to them, and I'm like, oh, hey. And we're still outside the party. We go in. Guys, they end up finding out that I'm Indian. We end up talking. I'm talking to both of them. They're actually brother-in-laws. One's single, one is not. And me and the single one just kind of talk a lot. And we end up talking about languages and what he likes to do and what I do for a living. He's very interested in the podcast. He's just asking me all these questions about myself, and vice versa. He's talking to Fabian, who, you know, it's like, I want somebody who can get along with my friends. So he's talking to Fabian, making conversations with him. And, you know, they had like a banda playing, they had mariachi first, and then it kind of switched to like this little band. And I don't really dance to that music, but Fabian usually will make me. And so I'm dancing to that, and I go inside, and I see him, and I'm like, hey, you want to dance to this? And he's like, I don't know how to dance to this. I'm not going to dance to this. And I was like, do you dance at Indian weddings? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then you can dance to this. And he's like, no, I can't. I need a drink. I need a shot. I need to take a walk. I need another shot. Then maybe I can dance with it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And he leaves, does all his preparations, and he comes back, and the music's over. So then we're just talking and having a good time. And because there's so many people still there, someone turns on a radio. And I'm like, hey, they're playing music again. And he's like, you want to dance, huh? And I'm like, yeah. This guy does not dance. He's like, I don't dance. I hate it. And he actually danced until the music stopped with me. I had the best time dancing with him. Granted, I had to be on my tippy toes to put my arms around his neck because he's 6'6", and I'm only 5'6", guys, okay? I'm tall. I think I'm tall for a girl. But still, it was really fun. But I just had the best time getting to know him and talking to him and learning about his hobbies and things. And I don't know, you guys. I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but I'm enjoying being single right now. I really am. I'm having a good time being single. And the weird thing to me, okay, it's not the weird thing, but the thing to take note of is all these 4 people that I've met recently have all been in-person meetings. In person. I'm still on a couple of the dating apps. I am. But meeting somebody in person is just so much better. It's so much easier. Number one, you get to see that they're who they are. You get to see, all these things about them, and you get a first impression, and they get to see whether they're attracted to you and like you, like right off the bat. There's no maybe, maybe not. Is she catfishing me? Is that a filter? What is it? Is that really him? There's none of that. So I would just like to say, I like my dating apps. I'm a proponent of people that want to date. They should be on dating apps. If you want to date and you don't know where to start, you should be on dating apps. But also, leave your fucking house every now and then. Leave your house. Do something fun. These things that I did, I wasn't going out like I'm going manhunting. No, that's not what was happening. I was going out to be social. I was going out to do things for a reason. And I just happened to meet these people. So it's very it happened by happenstance. It's very like Kismet. It's very it feels very fated. Like I was meant to meet these people. And my philosophy is that I think everybody that you meet serves a purpose in your life. And I can kind of figure out that first guy that we met, the out-of-towner, maybe what his purpose was to kind of open my mind a little bit. I don't really know about the second guy. The third guy, maybe he was just so chivalrous, and I don't know. It just felt very like it felt very a little traditional, and like his chivalry. And you know what? I like that. I like a man that opens the door for me. I like a man that opens like the car door, the restaurant door, wants me to walk in first, doesn't let me pay for things. Like, not that I mind. You guys know this. I've done so many episodes and talked about this so much. When we went to brunch, I offered to pay. I offered to split the bill. He would not let me, and I like that. I'm sorry. I like that old-fashioned chivalry. I do. Women's rights and everything, but I like a man who wants to pay, okay? I really do. So then we were talking, and we started focusing on coming up with some benefits for meeting in person versus online. And Madison found these 4 benefits on entrepreneur.com. Number 1, conversations become more in-depth. Conversations can be expanded, allowing you to dive into more in-depth conversations. That is true. So via text, we don't really do that, right? Via app texting, we don't get into that. I can tell you with Mr. 66, we talked about his language growing up and family stories and my family stories, things that you normally don't talk to unless you're in person and you start, discussing this stuff. He talked about his ex-girlfriend. This stuff just comes out. And normally if you're texting and you met somebody the same day, you're not going to go there right away. But the fact that we're talking about it the first time we're meeting, it's kind of nice. And then Mr. Military, ex-military, he told me about his family upbringing, and some of it wasn't pretty. And he's talking to me about his dad. I ended up talking to him about my dad. He was on the show. You can listen to it. It was the Addicted episode about his alcoholism and his struggle with it. It's just, you get to places you don't think you're going to go because you're having in-person conversations with people. And I think that's a huge benefit because you really get to see a side of somebody that if you were meeting them online or just talking via texting, you probably wouldn't get to see for a really long time. Number 2, a better impression on someone's personality, body language, facial expressions, absolutely immediately. So 6'6" is the strong silent type. And actually his friends asked me, they're like, if the 3 of us were out, who do you think would get hit on the most? And I said, my 6'6" guy. And they're like, why? What is it? It's true, but why? And I'm like, because he's the strong silent type. Like, he sits back, he's not talking, he's just watching. Like, it's mysterious. It attracts women. They want to know why you're so quiet. They want to know more about you. They were kind of compelled to want to know more about him. And they're like, and it was just a funny little thing, but I was able to observe his personality. And I was able to observe that He's not somebody who's like stubborn and won't try something new. He got up there and danced with me to dances he doesn't know how to dance. So I like that. I like somebody who can be spontaneous and do something that is maybe outside of their comfort zone. But it was so fun. I had the best time. And he actually reminded me, he's like, we were the last ones dancing. Like, we danced for a while. So it was really nice. Number three, you learn a lot by meeting in their environment. That's true. I got to meet his brother-in-law. I got to meet his friends. I got to see, you get to see like his drinking habits and things like that. You just get to see how he behaves in a social sort of environment, and vice versa. Him for me, he got to meet my best friend. He got to watch the interaction. He got to watch me talking to strangers, see how I interact with other people, with his family. It's just, it's nice to be able to see those things, because then you can think like, okay, is this person like, how is this person? Is this person going to be okay? Are they not going to be okay? It's really nice to be able to see that. Number 4, small talk allows you to truly get to know someone better. Like I said, those conversations, I found out so much about his hobbies, what he likes to do, where he likes to go. He found out about things I like to do. We have a similar love for wine and going to Napa and wineries. Like, these are all things that we probably wouldn't have figured out otherwise unless we started making small talk as we're trying to get to know each other. And I really enjoyed that. And I don't know what's going on with the universe. You guys, just to put this in some perspective here, these are 4 men that I've met. Who knows if we're going to stay in touch? Who knows what's going to happen, if I'll ever even see them again? I have no idea. I don't know what their purpose in my life was for, but I will say that I came off of this weekend and these experiences being thankful that I'm single and able to experience these different people. These are amazing men. Some of them have great jobs and heroes. These are amazing people, and they're good people. And so I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, because normally they don't send you good people. They send you trash. But these guys have all been really good people. And so I almost feel like maybe, like, I was telling Madison this before we started recording this episode, but I was like, they feel like almosts, like maybe this is your person, maybe not. Maybe this is your person, maybe not. And there's no answer to that. Only time will tell if any of these guys are my people. But it feels like the universe is sending me a lot more maybes now and a lot less trash, okay? So I would just say, if you're single, don't rule anything out. Get on the dating apps, but get outside of your house. Like, COVID's basically over, right? So go outside, but do things that you would normally do. Here's the thing. Don't go do something because you're like, I think I can meet a cute boy there. In my experience, that never works. It never works. Do something that you love doing. Do something that you're scheduled to do with people you love, friends that you love. And when you're in your element and you're in your being and you're being you, you just glow, and that will attract the right person to you. And I'd have to say that's one common denominator for all 4 of these meetings that I've had recently. As I was with people I love, just doing something that I wanted to do. So obviously I was having a great time and I was glowing while I was doing it. And that attracts people to you. It really does. All right, you guys. Are you happy being single yet? Are you happy being single yet? Because I think I am. And I think it's been a long time since I've enjoyed dating and meeting people. I think it's been a long time since I've looked forward to meeting new people. Really has. And so I'm optimistic. I feel like maybe the universe is trying to tell me something. God, I hope so. Who knows? But I know it'll happen when it's meant to happen. That's all I got for you guys today. Do me a favor, if you haven't liked me on Facebook yet, go ahead and like me on Facebook at Time Pass Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at timepass_podcast. And check out the YouTube channel. I need you to like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find the link for that in my bio. And make sure, if you are a time passer, you like tuning in and listening to me, your host, Ashika, do me a favor and share this episode with at least one friend, one colleague, one family member, one niece, one nephew, I don't know. Share it with someone, a friend at the gym. If you think there's someone out there who could benefit from this episode or any of the other episodes you've heard, please do me a favor and spread the good word. Stay authentic. That has been a theme of the show today. Don't do something just because you think maybe I'll meet somebody. Do something that you want to do. Stay authentic to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.